you being condescending. Alright? Let's move forward amicably.
Okay, well, check this out, though. First of all, you throwing too many big words at me. Okay, now, because I don't understand them, I'm going to take them as disrespect. Watch your mouth and help me with the say.
Okay, see, now you found yourself a nigga. You looking for a nigga? Nigga here now, see?
My mind is so spectacular. Open up your aperture. You don't like the light that I be shining, bitch. You Dracula. Southern draw vernacular. Flip you like a spatula. Knew that I was built to put this word up on my scapula. I've been on this road so long, my tires bald. I don't wanna text and no, I don't wanna call. Came in this shit running, bitch. I don't know how to crawl. We ain't never folding, I'm holding the highest card. Look, okay, grew up running post routes. Now I'm on the cash route. Better call the plumber. That boy spitting like a bass spout. All these bad women in this club, fuck is you mad about? Word to all my estheticians, boy, I'm about to lash out. Straight from St. John's to the east side, jigging since knee high. Watch the way I put on for my state, nigga, yeehaw. Respected no Aretha. Crazy how I made it to the league from the bleach eyes. Boy, my shit hair on, black, rich, and bare arms. Smoking on that yogi, this shit stronger than some bare arms. Goku, I'm in rare form, you cannot prepare for him. When I swing, it's like a carnival, this shit ain't fair for him. Brought intellect back to this rap shit. You niggas need chapstick. Shit been dry for way too long, and I'm the matchstick. You niggas Nickelodeon me, I'm more like Cap Nick. Cap a nigga, throw him in front of me. Party favors on the table, you can pick and choose. I would be lying if I said that I don't get confused. I'm just a player in the game and I don't pick the rules. Why trouble always seem to find the ones with shit to lose. About to blow like we just lit the fuse. We double dutch into this dough, I get this shit in twos. Push the button, get it started, put that shit in cruise. A little dust up on his heart, I barely get to use. A fool flatters himself, a wise man flatters the fool. Man, I just came to get it started like mechanics with tools. Cause in my hood, if you don't pack a tool, you planning to lose. These young boys deserve Oscars, they be acting a fool. A couple loose screws, but they hammer accurate. Ooh, I know some niggas stuck on drugs and manufacture it too. School of hard knocks, we all got our bachelor's. Food, no cap and gowns, but we all had the master. Party favors on the table, you can pick and choose. I would be lying if I said that I don't get confused. I'm just a player in the game and I don't pick the rules. Why trouble always seem to find the ones with shit to lose. I'm lit, it's about to be a late night. Fresh wax, shawty, show me what it tastes like. Niggas know me in my city like I'm Wayne Wright. Got them looking up to me and we the same height. Ooh, I got it bad, deep in my bag. Foot on the gas, they cannot last. Swimming with the sharks, bitch, that's a great white. Never stopping, we don't even need a break light. Say she don't smoke, but she always smoke with me, yeah. Backwards in the air, back up in the ovaries, yeah. All my ops, they stay running like they over easy. Even my masseuses can't just get too close to me, yeah. Shout out to Next, soon as the ink dry, we count out the checks, yeah. I never flex, I bought up a business, you bought up a section. I'm at the top of my class, yeah. Y'all never learned from your lesson. Skywalker gave me the force, yeah. Turn this into an obsession, yeah. I couldn't wait on the team, cooking shit up with just me rolling flag, yeah. Things never are what they seem, but we know the facts, yeah. Charging that shit to the game, but now I pull up with a battery pack, yeah. The bigger they are, the harder they fall, and we can just leave it at that. I'm dumb lit, it's about to be a late night. Fresh wax, shawty, show me what it tastes like. Niggas know me in my city like I'm Wayne Wright. Got them looking up to me and we the same height. Ooh, I got it bad, deep in my bag. Foot on the gas, they cannot last. Swimming with the sharks, bitch, that's a great white. Never stopping, we don't even need no brake lights. Big bro, why they call you big bro? Every time we hit the bank, we deposit zip codes. Well connected with the streets like we out in Skid Row.
What's good, everybody? Welcome to the Pull-Up Show. I'm your host, Mr. BJ Matthews, a.k.a. B Jizzle. Before we get started, follow us on the YouTube page, the Pull-Up Basketball Podcast. Like, share, subscribe. All of our YouTube videos, hit that like button. Y'all come in here, hit the share, subscribe, hit that Cash App, $, Slick Rick 1991 Son, $, Slick Rick 1991 Cent. If you guys have Cash App, if you guys have Venmo, you can also donate at BJ Matthews at BJ/Matthews/1. That is our Venmo. Again, Venmo and Cash App are our two ways that you can, donate to the podcast. And last but not least, if you guys have neither one, if y'all have neither option, you guys can also do our super stickers and super comments. Very simple. All you guys got to do is click that button in the right hand corner where the little $ symbol as the chat, and you guys can donate that way. It's all greatly appreciated to the Pull Up Basketball Podcast. Let's get it popping. All right, man. So we back with another video right here, man. It's early in the morning at 6 a.m. I decided to do this video pre-recorded again. If you guys are coming in the comment section, understand some. Since I'm doing the Believe in Clippers podcast, I hope that y'all subscribe to that on Spotify, iHeartRadio, all those good things, man. Since I'm doing that now 3 times a week, and when the season starts, it's going to be 4 to 5. I don't have as much time to do the lives as I used to. I'm still doing the lives with Rick every weekend. Me and Rick are still having our show, so that's an opportunity for you guys to come in and talk with us. And I will probably do a live probably here and there, throughout the week, probably once or twice if I have the time. But for the most part, it's going to be recorded videos, pre-recorded videos, because I do want to get the content out for y'all. I still want to put the information out for y'all. But just off the simple fact of my scheduling, I just don't have the time like I once did before I started this Believe in Clipper podcast. So I'm still getting the information out, I'm still getting the content out, but it's just not on the scale of just having like a 3 to 4 hour live where I can just sit and talk to y'all. So I hope that y'all really understand. But the show will go on. It's Kobe week. I had a few different videos over the past few days talking about Kobe Bryant and the GOAT debate. I have a playlist for it if you guys want to check that out as well, right there on the YouTube page, where I'm speaking upon basically having Kobe Bryant in the top 5. It started off on Sunday with us and me and Rick. And then we went on to, Kobe and Shaq, comparing those two. I talked about how, who was the more impactful player and who really needed who. I got a lot of good feedback from that. Yesterday was about Kobe and Magic, and how I think they give certain excuses for Magic having Kareem that they don't give to Kobe when he had Shaq. Even though Shaq was only there for 3 rings and Kareem was there for all Magic's 5 rings. But they use that as a way to disqualify Kobe Bryant, but not disqualify Magic Johnson. So I talked about that yesterday, and today is going to be another good discussion. I don't think a lot of people talk about enough. And it's about basically the king of the 2000s, who had the more impactful career, who was the impactful player, and just who should be ranked higher. This is another discussion that I don't know where it came from. I don't know how it happened, but, I'm even hearing mumblings that, certain players over Kobe Bryant. And that player right here is Mr. Tim Duncan. All right. Tim Duncan of San Antonio Spurs. Played 19 seasons. Arguably probably the best power forward of all time. I'm going to say the best power forward. That he's somehow ranked over Kobe Bryant. Now, 1 second, let me go ahead and, say and tell my comment. All right. So, this is a little bit of a different little tone if y'all have not realized. I want to bring this out to y'all real quick, man, to let y'all know that I definitely appreciate what y'all be to me and my podcast, man, what y'all been building. We've been doing this for almost 3 years now. And we just been getting so much, blessings here and there, from the Believe in Clipper podcast, starting off, the opportunity to work with the Clippers, and then the content continues to grow, and then the guests that we've had, man. I just want to tell y'all, man, if I haven't told y'all, because I definitely sometimes forget, you guys wouldn't be without y'all, would not have what I have, man. So continue support, man, because I'm going to be taking this up to another level this year. But that's enough of the mushy stuff. Kobe week. What does this mean? Well, Kobe week for me is a week where it's an appreciation. Of course, Kobe Bryant, the 824, is going to be ending on, Saturday. So up until then, I'll be making these videos in appreciation to him and topics that need to be discussed more and more. And I'm going to say it once, and I'm going to say it again. I feel people have not done a good enough job, and I'm talking to Kobe Bryant fans, of really making the case for this dude to be not only just a top 5 player, but you can make a case of being the GOAT. It's become so popular to say that Kobe Bryant is not in that discussion because of what the analysts say, not what the players done say. It's what the analysts and these TV personalities say on TV. When you got guys like Nick Wright talking about Kobe Bryant was never the best player at any point of his career, nowhere in the 2000s, which we're going to talk about right now, this episode. When you got idiots like that who never touched the ball, who never really doesn't get any type of coverage around any NBA players in the league, even the guy that he jock sniffs, which is LeBron James, who won't give him an interview or time of day. When you say that Kobe Bryant was never the best player at any point of his career, not one season, I would expect that from a millennial or a person that's under the age of 21 years old. Obviously, Nick Wright is not that. If he watched basketball at the time, would know Kobe Bryant for pretty much majority of the 2000s was the best player. The two guys you see on the screen right here are the two best players of the 2000s. So how in the blue hell was he never the best player at one point of his career? Not one season. Well, you got Shannon Sharpe getting on the screen talking about you can't have Kobe Bryant making up arguments being in the top 10 or the GOAT debate because he had one season MVP. Y'all see the one that they're holding up right there. Right? When you start talking and saying that he can't be in discussion for one season MVP, but Shaq, according to you, will be the GOAT with that same one season MVP. That's called hypocrisy. That's called making your own criteria and hope it sticks. That's what I call that. And I don't like that. But again, that's not on them. That's on the Kobe Bryant supporters and the basketball real, the historians, to really talk about this and really bring it to light, because they're not going to talk about it. I've been seeing so many things online and so many, different things I've just kind of been noticing has been erased to really support Kobe Bryant's claim, because it's just not a popular choice and a popular pick to say that this man should be in the top 5. It's not. They done insert so many people ahead of him that I was not seeing when he was playing. And when he won his 5th championship against Boston in 2010, there was a real discussion on who could Kobe Bryant surpass Michael Jordan. That was the discussion. It wasn't Tim Duncan. It wasn't Hakeem Olajuwon. It wasn't Magic Johnson. It wasn't Larry Bird. Even though those guys, they were playing much earlier. This was the only person that was being compared to Mike. Now, you may say because they play the same position, but my point is, if you're telling me that Jordan's the GOAT and you saying that this guy is the only person that you can really compare to him, and he was at a point of his career where he had 5 championships, he was chasing his 6th. How do you go from that to now he's barely top 10? Don't make no sense. It's agenda driven. But let me go ahead and get to this one. This is another good one. So apparently Tim Duncan and Kobe Bryant were players that were the best of their decade, which is saying Tim Duncan was better than Shaquille O'Neal. That's an interesting thing to say. Also, people don't want to talk about. If you're telling me that Tim Duncan and Kobe were the 2 best players of their decade, that debunks and really goes to my point that Kobe was over Shaquille O'Neal. Right? But Tim Duncan and Kobe, let's compare the two and let's talk about what each of them did in their careers. Obviously, just go through a quick little recap. Atlanta basketball, LOB. I'm gonna start calling this LOB. Both similar in careers, seasons 20 to 19. But when you look at that season thing, you got to remember NBA seasons go into, if you play 5 games in that season, it still counts as a season for you, which Kobe basically played, after 2013 with a torn Achilles, and he pretty much was done after that. He was never pretty much the same. And then before the 1999-2000 season, he didn't really get the accurate, time on the court that he needed to really accumulate and start his real resume and his real career statistically. But those seasons count against him. But if you really look at the amount of years that he really was playing and getting the minutes and actually wasn't dealing with, season-ending injury, you can say he really played about 15 seasons. I'm talking about Kobe Bryant. I'm not kidding. His first 2 seasons, he didn't really touch the floor to get his, numbers up. In the last 3 seasons, he was pretty much dealing with a season-ending injury. Because right before he tore his Achilles, y'all realized Kobe Bryant led the league in scoring. He was the leading leader in scoring at that time. He still had about, I would say, a good 3 to 4 years left in him. But he really played 15 seasons, 15 and a half. You look at Tim Duncan, he came into the league getting accurate, time on the court. And he kind of went down as he got older, but I'm just saying, there was really no restraints against Tim Duncan. I just want to point that out. Playoffs played 15-18, 18-15 All-Star games. Honors and awards, season MVP goes to Tim Duncan 2-1. Finals MVP goes to Tim Duncan 3-2. All-NBA first team 11-10 goes to Kobe Bryant. All-NBA teams tied at 15. All-defensive first team goes to Kobe 9-8. All-defensive teams altogether 12-15 Tim Duncan. Scoring leader 2-0 Kobe Bryant. 0-1 Tim Duncan, Rookie of the Year. All right, so if you look at everything in a nutshell, much like Kobe and Magic, they're pretty similar. Right? They kind of just go bounce back one another, and that's pretty much the reason why probably they basically have the same amount of, they're probably looked at as probably the 2 best of this era, right? So let me go ahead and take this off because I had this, at the same time, take this picture off so y'all can see. Atlanta basketball right here is what we're looking at with Kobe and Tim Duncan. And it's pretty much similar, like I said. Now, in saying that, we got to go a little bit deeper because, like I said before, it's more than just about the accomplishments and things of that nature. You got to look at the accolades. You got to look at the statistics. Obviously, there are 2 different positions, though. So there's going to be certain categories that go to Kobe and certain categories that go to Tim Duncan automatically. Points and steals go to Kobe. Rebounds and blocks go to Tim Duncan. Assists go to Kobe Bryant. But that's expected, like I said, right? Only category where you can really say that there's an even chance for both of them is the points category, because everything else is predicated to what position they played, right? As y'all come here, smash that like button. So we have to go a little bit deeper. We got to go a little bit deeper in the water. So that you have that going for yourself. Let's talk about a little bit more into a little deeper in their careers. I want to speak upon the head-to-head matchups between these two. Now, this is predicated more so to the 2000s, okay? Like I said, Kobe came into the league and he had a lot of people get a head start in front of him. Tim Duncan was one of them, meaning going to teams that really utilized their players and didn't hold them back. But before I start, let me say this about Tim Duncan. See, Tim Duncan's another player who has been underrated, in my personal opinion. I'm gonna give him credit. Tim Duncan to me has been a player that's also been overlooked himself, and it comes mainly because of his personality. He's kind of, nonchalant. He's not really personable. He's not really marketable. I remember the Spurs being a team looked at as being the team like the vegetable team. They're good for you, but they're boring. That's how you looked at the Spurs when Tim Duncan was pretty much there. And that's Tim Duncan in a nutshell. It goes back to you are what your captain is, or your best player is. If your team is one way, look at the best player, or look at the coach. And when you look at the Spurs, very, very, by the book, militant, don't care about the glitz and glamour. I mean, I used to live in San Antonio myself. It's a real black and white city. It's not really much flair to it. When you go to Texas, you hang out in Houston, you hang out in Dallas, you even hang out in Austin before you hang out in San Antonio. Right? That's what Tim Duncan was, basically the vegetable guy. Big fundamental. But he gets overlooked simply because of that. So while I'm giving Kobe Bryant his just due, I'm going to be giving Tim Duncan his just due as well. But I want to speak upon, first off, Kobe and Tim Duncan's, seasons, season by season. And I'm going to start with Tim Duncan, obviously. He came into the league in 1997. Now, something interesting about Tim Duncan, his second season, he was able to win a championship with the Spurs, right? He was able to get a championship with David Robinson. Now, let me speak upon Tim Duncan's impact first. A lot of people go to Greg Popovich as a great coach. Well, he had David Robinson since 1990, was it 93? I don't want to know. It was in the early 90s. He had David Robinson for, a number of years. And they were getting knocked out in the second round. They were getting knocked out in the conference final. They were getting knocked out, right? So they obviously was missing something. And they drafted this Tim Duncan guy from the Virgin Islands to basically be the missing piece for them to win a championship. Tim Duncan won a championship his second year of his career. And when people talk about Tim Duncan, what they usually always go to is a model of consistency. Right? They talk about a model of consistency. You know what I'm saying? Before I even go into that, I want to talk about a person that actually sides that Tim Duncan had a better career than Kobe Bryant. And that guy's Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, who played for the Lakers. He said Kareem Abdul-Jabbar thinks Tim Duncan had a better career than Kobe Bryant. And to see the reason why he said that is they've been able to win more consistently. He said Tim Duncan never had a losing season and made the playoffs every single year. That was the words of Tim Duncan. That was the words of Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. And that usually is what people go to when they talk about Tim Duncan being over Kobe. Tim Duncan had a certain level of consistency that was not seen in the NBA. When you talk about him having, like he said, multiple winning seasons, and you talk about his statistics, like for 9 straight years, Tim Duncan was averaging over 20 points and averaging over 10 rebounds every single year for his first 9 straight seasons of his career. Right? Every single year, y'all look in the record, I see the highlighted right there. All winning seasons. He never had a losing season. He never had a year that he was not, in the playoffs. Damn near 50 wins every single year. That is Tim Duncan's. That is the case if you want to make a case that Tim Duncan's over such players in the NBA. That's the case you can make for him. But there's other players you can make a case that for. I've said it before. There's been a few players that make the playoff that haven't missed the playoffs. Kawhi Leonard, his former teammate, which I'm gonna talk about y'all in a minute. Kawhi Leonard, his former teammate, never missed the playoffs. James Harden never missed the playoffs. Paul George never missed the playoffs. When they were all healthy playing, they never missed the postseason. So, as great as that is, it's been done before. Or it's being done now. Like, you have players who don't miss the playoffs. So, as great as that of an accomplishment and outstanding and consistent that is, that's really what I look at Tim Duncan as being a model of consistency, not dominance. That's what people go to when they talk about Tim Duncan. And I think the person who told me this not too long ago, that they would put Tim Duncan over Kobe, he said simply that he's basically done the same thing over and over every single year and maintain that model of excellence. Okay, so you go and actually go to the other side and you look at Kobe Bryant's wins and loss record. Is not as pleasant. It's not as pleasant what Tim Duncan's is. Again, Kobe's career was a lot different from these star top 10 players who were getting the, minutes, getting the opportunities to play, being on the court. Kobe Bryant didn't have that. He had a lot of different, restraints against him. It wasn't because he wasn't good enough to play. It was simply because of the situation he was in, playing behind all-stars and playing for a coach that did not believe in playing younger guys who were coming out of high school. They just didn't. But when you look at Kobe's, you see dominance, but you also see a couple down years. You look at, 2004-2005 season when they lost Shaq, they 28-38. You look at, 500 season, 39-38 in 2006-2007. You look at, at the bottom of his career, 10-25 and 13-53. Right? You see the year he tore his Achilles and he barely played. He played 6 games. The year after, he played 6 games. They went 2-4. So you see a little bit of, hardship. You see a little bit of, rough times for Kobe Bryant that Tim Duncan didn't experience. Now, let me give Tim Duncan some credit. Tim Duncan also helped have that consistency because of his personality and his demeanor and his ability to, bring people together. He made it in an environment where everybody seemed welcome. That's the type of person Tim Duncan came off as to his teammates. Maybe not to the media, but to his teammates, he seemed like he was a real, collaborative person, want everybody to be involved. And his coach, he kind of looked at him as a person that was a person that actually he looked to for acceptance and guidance. Kobe, unfortunately, because of his fiery demeanor and because of his his strong will, he would challenge his coaches at times. Phil Jackson, Mike Brown, Rudy Tomjanovich. It wasn't easy playing for Kobe, like I said before. And this goes back to, again, like I said, to Monty. Shout out to my boy Monty. This notion that Kobe was so well liked, bro, I don't know where that came from you. No one was really fond of Kobe Bryant, especially as his teammates or as his coaches. Phil Jackson came out and said that he was responsible for him wanting to take a break from coaching. He talking about Kobe because of the load that he put on, him as a coach. Kobe was not easy to deal with. He was not easy to deal with. Tim Duncan was more, by the book, and you don't talk back to your coaches. You do what the coach tells you. You're about team first, player second. That's what Tim Duncan's mindset was. And it helped, like Kareem Abdul-Jabbar said, they had, multiple years where they did not miss the playoffs and they were consistent. Right? Now, I see how I did that. Y'all see how I basically gave Tim Duncan all them, props, and didn't just sit up there and just say Tim Duncan is a bum and he don't deserve to be this, that, and the other. No, I definitely believe Tim Duncan is at least in the top 6 to 7 players of all time. But for me, the buck stops there, and this is where I actually make the turn and make the, my punchline. Now, you guys know I told y'all I go by a certain number of things when it comes to comparing these players. And resumes one, accomplishments, stats is, also in there, sprinkled in there, championships, things of that nature. I also speak about another good, caveat, and that's the head-to-head. Now, this is where things go down, and this is why I have questions about quote-unquote Tim Duncan's consistency. Again, the king of the 2000s is who? This is where I want to go to. Let me change it up a little bit. Question. Tim Duncan won what? 5 championships, same as Kobe Bryant, right? He won 3 in the 2000s. He won 1 in 1999. He won 1 in 2014. The consistency is there in the regular season. It definitely is there in the regular season. But as you look a little bit deeper, where was that same consistency in the postseason? Where was that dominance in the postseason? Where was that dominance when it came to winning championships in the postseason and having playoff success? Because Tim Duncan and the Spurs, there were pockets and there were gaps in their championships. You look in 2003 to 2005 to 2007, those are all 3 years they won championships. The Lakers and the Spurs are the 2 best teams in the 2000s, hands down. So let me tell y'all what happened. If y'all look at this head-to-head right here between Kobe and Tim Duncan, Kobe Bryant was 31-21 against 21-31. Tim Duncan was 31-21 in the regular season. And then the playoffs, Kobe was 18-12, and Tim Duncan was total 18 in the playoffs against Kobe. Now, you guys will put a lot of stock into that regular season record where I do not, because the regular season, again, it counts against you. Even if you played 5 minutes in that game, even if you played, a few, that counts against you, and it counts as you're being included into that record. Well, like I just mentioned, I continuously mentioned, with Tim Duncan coming into the league at 1997 and Kobe Bryant coming to 1996, they were playing against each other. Their teams were facing each other. It's just that one guy, Tim Duncan, had more impact in the game, and Kobe Bryant had a less impact in the game, playing behind Eddie Jones and Nick Van Exel. So that win-loss record still went on his watch from 96 to about 98. The wins and loss record still went against him, even though Kobe Bryant was dealing with that torn Achilles, a season-ending injury from 2013 to 2016. Tim Duncan never dealt with a season-ending injury, ever. Never tore his Achilles, never tore his ACL, never tore anything, which is not his fault, which is great. But I'm just putting context. I don't put stock into that regular season record. But what I will put stock in is that damn playoff record. Because when they face in the postseason every single time, from 1999 to 2008, or 2013, 2008, because Kobe didn't play in the 2013 playoffs against the Spurs. Y'all see what happened. Y'all see the head-to-head record. Y'all see the statistics. Y'all saw the moments when they faced each other in the 2000s. The Lakers beating them, 3 out of 4 times. 2001, 2002, 2004, and 2008. So Tim Duncan wasn't the model of dominance, he's the model of consistency. And when you put him against this guy, the Spurs tend to basically meet their match. And that's with or without Shaq. Because what 2008 did was it allowed Kobe Bryant to show that he can beat the Spurs without Shaquille O'Neal. He can beat Tim Duncan without Shaq. And that moment, I said, okay, Kobe is the better player, and Kobe Bryant's the more impactful player. Being that he can take his team to a level a little above what Tim Duncan can do as single-handedly. And a lot of that has to do with the position Kobe Bryant plays, but a lot of it has to do also with his personality. Like I said, his ability. He can take over games that Tim Duncan wasn't able to do. Right? So let me get a little bit deeper real quick about Tim Duncan's, quote unquote playoff gaps. So, and as y'all come in, make sure y'all smash that like button. So, Tim Duncan was so consistent, right? Let me pull this up for y'all to see. So, right after they won their championship in 2007, talking about the San Antonio Spurs, y'all got to remember that Spurs went through a little bit of a drought for about 5 straight seasons. As great as they were in the regular season, as great as they were, as consistent as they were, as many, high win seasons they had, they just, for whatever reason, could not get, this playoff bug. They were losing to teams like they lost to the Memphis Grizzlies. They lost to the Clippers, in 2015, which is not listed on here. In the first round, they lost to, they got beat by the Lakers, obviously, in 2008. But there was they got beat by the Thunder in, the first round or in the conference semis. So there's a lot of different times from 2007 to about 2013 when they could not crack the Da Vinci Code. And Tim Duncan was right there, and that was supposed to be his quote-unquote prime. And really, they weren't able to get over the hump until they got this guy right here. Y'all see who that is, the fun guy. That's Claw. That's Mr. Kawhi Leonard. Basically, what I'm telling y'all is, with all the great coaching the Spurs had, with the great management they had with R.C. Buford, who seemed to recruit international players that fit around Tim Duncan, advise this, that, and the other, they needed a guy to come in there to get them back into the championship quote unquote talks. In Kawhi's second season with the Spurs, they got him to the NBA Finals. The third season, they won the whole thing, and Kawhi Leonard was the MVP. But at that point, Kawhi was the best player on the team. In 2014, that's when he became the best player on the Spurs, offensively and defensively. Tim Duncan was still solid, he was still productive, but literally like a year or two later, he just hit a wall. Against that Thunder team in 2016, he hit a wall. Kawhi Leonard was the best player from 2014 and beyond. So you talk about, again, a guy who went through about 5 seasons of losing winning in the season, but losing in the postseason. First round semis, first round. Couple of conference finals in there. But the conference finals came when Kawhi Leonard came in 2011, 2012. But before that, you saw first round exit semis, first round conference finals against the Lakers, against Kobe. So that's why I kind of, say, okay, well, yeah, he was consistent, but he wasn't dominant. He never went back to back. The Spurs never went back to back, and they never three-peated like the Lakers did in 2000. They never went to 3 finals in a row. So you can say for Kobe, at least, even though he had down years from 2007 to 2014, I can push back and say, well, look at the amount of coaches he had to go through. Look at the management that was running the Lakers after Dr. Buss passed away. You guys got to remember something else. After Dr. Buss passed away, the Lakers were pretty much a laugh. Like what y'all seeing from the Lakers right now is pretty similar to what was happening when Dr. Buss passed. Being ran by 2 trust fund kids. I'm talking about Jeannie Buss and her brother Jerry Buss or Jim Buss. Run the Lakers organization to the ground. Not picking up, not knowing how to build the team correctly. And that was part of the reason why Kobe was running to leave the Lakers, because he said they were not trying to win. They were not trying to win. Not because he was scared of competition or he feel like he wasn't confident in his ability. He's like, you guys are wasting my time. You guys got me with Smush Parker. You got me with Brian Cook. You got me with Kwame Brown. You got me with, Slava Medvedenko. You got me with all these guys that are not adequate teammates to help me win a championship. This is what I'm working with. And a lot of people don't talk about that. Again, the Kobe Bryant fans got to do a better job of knowing this type of stuff, because this was type of information you can use against these dumbasses that want to continuously pile bullshit on your table. I can write a book. I swear I can. But even with all that, he still went to 3 finals in a row. 08, 09, and 2010. Without Shaq. Tim Duncan couldn't even go. I don't think the Spurs go back to back to even go to back to back finals. I think they went one time in the 2000s. But a huge reason, again, the Spurs could not go back to back or go 3-peat because of the Lakers. They could not get over the Laker hump. They could not beat them. They could not beat the Lakers. And a lot of times, even when Kobe Bryant had Shaq, here's another nugget. I'm gonna let y'all go in a minute. Even when Kobe Bryant had Shaq, there was a game, and it was in 2001, where Shaq called Kobe Bryant the best player in the NBA. This was in 2001. He called him the best player in the NBA. Now, Shaq, you don't know if he used that just off of scheming or whatever, just to basically, say put a certain battery in Kobe's back. But I don't think that's what it was at all. Because I think Kobe Bryant, he was already seeing who he was as a person. He didn't need motivation. He was saying that because he knew that was the truth, and he saved his ass. And like I mentioned in my last video, there was many times Kobe Bryant saved Shaq's ass. That doesn't get talked about. So when he tells the world that he feels like Kobe Bryant was the best player at that time, in 2001 in the playoffs against the Spurs, I think he was being completely honest. I think he was taking a sigh of relief, saying, damn, I'm so glad I got this dude on my team. Always prevails to the big moments, always there for the challenges. Against a Spurs team where Shaq admitted that Tim Duncan was the only player that gave him issues. Where if you said something to him, you couldn't really get to him. He was his hardest matchup to deal with. So he knew what he was dealing with on the other side, but because he had Kobe on his side, he said, okay, let me give this guy his just due. Because the Spurs had no answer for him. None. No answer. And that goes back to the point again, when you talk about this 1-2 punch between Kobe and Shaq, that's exactly what it was, a 1-2 punch. Meaning, because Shaq had the favorable matchup in the finals, Kobe would turn around in the semifinals or the conference finals against a Western Conference team which was more challenging, like the Spurs or the Kings, and do damage. That was by design. Who has the more favorable matchup? Who has the more ideal matchup? I got the best big man. I got the best guard in the NBA. Which one do you want to pick? You had the two best players at their positions on the same team. Again, I don't know if people weren't around or did not watch or did not see. They were the two best players on the same team. That's why. How the hell do y'all think they went to 3 straight finals? Same thing with Steph Curry and KD. They were back-to-back season MVPs, 2014, 2015, 2016. Those are the two best. Well, I wouldn't say best. I would say they're the two MVPs on the same. That's why everybody was so upset they're on the same team. It was the same thing with Kobe and Shaq. You got the two best players on the same damn team in the NBA, running through everybody, and that includes the San Antonio Spurs and Tim Duncan. And that's exactly why, when you talk about who is the best player of the 2000, who had the best resume, who is the more spectacular player, that's Bean. Tim Duncan was the model of consistency. The model of, just simply doing the same thing over and over. Unfortunately, he forgot one thing, and that's domination. And I think Kobe just was just a little bit higher, had a little bit more ability, can get to a little bit higher of a level that Tim Duncan just couldn't get to. So what I want to do in honor of Kobe and respect, I want to play a clip that something that I didn't say, but when it, Shaq said about him that will further hit my punchline. I hope that y'all enjoyed this video. We'll be back with another one, again, in honor of Kobe Bryant Week. I love y'all, man. Pull up a seat, pull up a chair, pull up. Peace. Out of here like swimwear.
How did you come to the revelation that this is the greatest player on the planet, Kobe Bryant?
When I first came to LA, Jerry showed me a tape of this kid, and I knew he had potential. And a lot of people thought we had problems. We never really had problems at all.
Finally, someone let me out of my cage. Now, time for me is nothing because I'm counting no A's. Nah, kidding you there. Now, you shouldn't be scared. I'm good at repairs, and I'm under the snare. Intangible. But you didn't think, so I command you to. Panoramically, look, I'll make it all manageable. Pick and choose, sit and lose. All you different crews, chicks and dudes. So you think it's really kicking tunes. Picture you getting down in a picture too. Like you in the fuse. You think it's fictional, mystical, maybe spiritual. Hero who appears in you to clear your view if you're too crazy. Lifeless to know the definition for what life is. Priceless to you because I put you on the hype shit you like it. Cause smoking righteous with one token psychic among them possess you with one go.
I'm feeling glad I got sunshine in a bag. I'm useless, not for long. The future is coming on. Hey, I'm feeling glad I got sunshine in a bag. I'm useless, not for long.
We like that.